Hey, it's Father Time. Welcome. We are at Valencia, Spain, for fueling flight 3955 over to Palma de Mallorca on the island of Mallorca, Palma. Short little flight, nasty weather, crosswinds at limits. So it's a high crosswind profile and stinky weather. Don't have the radar up and running on this thing just yet. We are in beta version 5302. Today is May 28th, 2024. I am operating under the non-disclosure agreement, as always. Please do not share this with anyone outside of the CE 1000. This video is being produced for the CE 1000 with permission of TFDi management, and they want you to know, of course, this is still a work in progress. The cabin is not yet updated. It's pretty much ready to go. Wait till you see it. They're just knocking off bugs right now. It is feature complete. So let me get you into the cold, dark airplane. We'll take a look around, get us to a full pre-flight, and go practice a high crosswind landing. Let's get going. And here we are. Take a look outside. It's a stormy day. No radar, I mentioned. Here in Valencia, Spain. Fueling flight 3955. So we get a little help around here. Poor guy. The rain going on. Alright. Let's go inside. Cold, dark airplane, get started. Quiet. Okay, as always, come in, check all the circuit breakers in, cockpit safety inspection, pressure breathing equipment, ELT, emergency transmitter, a beacon. This is the pins, flashlight. Over here we have 3 action firefighting bottles, all in the green. 1, 2, 3. First observer's audio panel, first aid kit. I do have FS Realistic going, so occasionally you'll hear some weird noises, people coughing. Second observer's seat. Jump seat actually would fold down off the wall, and they would sit right behind the captain, kind of perched up. I don't think I've ever been over that with you guys. Then we come back in the cockpit, in the center console. This is written up. This is a bug. Don't bother writing it up. It's been written up. Doesn't affect the performance of the airplane, but you have a full left aileron trim showing there for display. We've got the radar is off, even though right now it's inoperative. Fuel control cutoff switches are cut off. Engine start selectors are in. Throttle's idle, reversers are down, spoiler levers down, flap levers up, gear handles down, and the wipers are off. Fuel dump switch and fuel manifold switches are covered. You can see that we have an avail light, which means we're 400 on the freak and 115 on the volts, plus or minus. We're going to go put the battery on. Airplane's coming to life. External power on. When we do the turning the IRS's cargo test, there's your cargo warning test. So the master warning, press the button to get it to go off, and you've got yourself a good fire test. And now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and go to the box, and we'll get ourselves aligned. Reference, database, aircraft status. MD-11, flying the GE's CF6-80s. Today, as I mentioned, is May 28th, and it's good till May 12th, isn't it? And initialize. With that, we can go to the EFB. We'll talk a little bit about that. All right, we'll set my SimBrief username. Father time. And a copy code. You can get your own copy code off their website for if you're flying a VATSIM type thing for CPDLC and 8 cars. Save that. Weight units, I use Imperial, Celsius. Allow hardware overforce. I don't know what that is. I have a couple of questions on what things are. Automatic seatbelt behavior. I don't have that. I just do that manually. Realistic align time. Manpads defense system, very cool. We'll keep it hidden. Extended range is enabled. And go to dispatch. Import flight plan. This is Valencia, Spain. Over to the island of Mallorca on Palma. That all looks good. Send the flight plan. Set the fuel load. Payload sent. And with that, we'll come back to the nav charts. Sign in. This is the last sign in we'll have to do. You can either use the code over on the Navigraph website, or you can take your little cell phone, take a picture like a menu at a restaurant, get prompted, and here it comes. It says approved for Navigraph account for TFDi, and we're linked. Once that happens, you can type in your airport, Valencia's LEVC. The winds get out of limits. Our alternate is Barcelona today. Taxi, and we are going to be parked right over here at stand 12. We're going to go to 30 pushback, make our way out here to November to Hotel 1 for takeoff on 30. And our SID today is going to be Orvis 2 Hotel. There's the Orvis 2 Bravo, Orvis 2 Hotel. Orvis 2 Hotel, climb on runway heading to 5 DME. So Valencia runway 30, runway heading, 5 DME. Left-hand turn along the arc, left-hand turn 7 DME arc to VO03, and then we're going to intercept the 092 course outbound to Orvis. Transition altitude is 6,000, so we'll get the standard set at 6,000. For close-in obstacles, see 10-30 Bravo 1. Yeah, this is the obstacles they're talking about right there. I don't see anything too exciting. It's FS Realistic in the background. Just starting to play with that. I had it downloaded once, and I activated it on the 7.3 a long time ago, and the airplane crashed. I activated it while we were flying, so I kind of got away from it. But anyway, and I'm just trying to load around here. 6,000. All right, let's. It's good enough for now. Let's go to the box. We'll finish loading the box up. We talked about Barcelona being the alternate. Been there many, many times in my long airline career. We are in Vueling 3955. VLG 3955. Cruise level, they want us to go at flight level 220. And if you want to know what standard temperature is, you multiply this times 2 and negative it. So that's 44, negative 44. You do for standard altitude at 15, so that's 29, negative 29. But you also have to do temperature dev of +8. So 44 minus 15 is 29, but it's a little warmer than that, so minus 21. It's +8 minus 21. That's how you do it. And the wind is a +14 with a cost index of 84. Guys, maybe getting to the point where you're familiar with all this, but I always start with cold dark. Our taxi fuel off the flight plan PDF is 2. Our reserve plus alternate, there's our reserve and alternate. Barcelona 15, we'll call it 16. Won't take the fuel yet. And you could say, hey, I want to land with no less than 12 if you want to be more conservative. We put in the fuel, and release fuel is 33.3. It's 33.3. Zero fuel weight 364.7. 364.7. Takeoff weight 396, and takeoff weight, zero fuel weight. CG, you're in. Don't have to do anything with a dump page. Go to the flight plan, LEVC. SID is runway 30. Orbis 2 Hotel, no transition. Insert. There's our arc. 17 out to Orbis, the points we talked about. There's our 871, which is preloaded, ADX, and our routing after ADX is direct to 6 left. And they said Yankee, ADX transition. And over here, really a none should be on the star. Make sure that's all makes sense. It's all in there. All right, looks good. And the last thing we have to do, of course, is takeoff data. And for that, we go back to the box. Payload should already be updated. There it is. Performance. We're going to go to in here. We want to put in Valencia LEVC. Runway 30. Get weather information. There it is, 1022, 0 altimeter. And then takeoff weight. Get takeoff weight. Looks good. Flaps, I'm going to go flap 15. 15. Packs on. Anti-ice, nope. Thrust flex. And calculate. Give it a second. 35, 35, 54, and 59. And 59's in there. No slope. Won't count the wind. And we've got a temperature of plus 23. No anti-ice today. 23 Celsius. We'll do an NADP 2. It's a European type climb. Clean up 3,000 above the ground. I think pressure, field elevation here is 170 something. The runway heading is 296. So 250 is fine. 296. To get my hyper scroll going. I've flown this in the Airbus and in the Mad Dog. I haven't flown it in this thing yet, I don't believe. Let me see here. Clearance. They're going to have us climb to transition altitude 6,000. Braking action's good. And it's climbed to 6,000 on departure. And that is our transition altitude. I do have the Razor Basilic Hyper Scroll Wheel. Although that TFDi has promised they are going to actually improve. First of all, make it compatible with your hardware at home, like your Logitech panels. And so you can slew the heading around much faster, as well as the altitude. And they're looking at different ways to improve the efficiency. As I mentioned, I went ahead and I got to turn on the nav lights here, and I went ahead and got the Hyper Scroll Wheel. All right, today I will be using following checklists. I'll do this one by memory, as should you. Pre-flight checklist. These are the flows. I made this up using the old MD-11 manual from American Airlines. Plus, I added a bunch of other things in there. But I'm not going to go over it all with you. I'll just be using that. And then we'll transition to the normals checklist, which I will. We're following the lesson plan for FSIPanel. Tells you where to park, what altitude, where to file. If you don't know about an FSIPanel for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, it's right there. $50 program. Fantastic. They have dozens of profiles, challenges, from winds to diversions, medical emergencies. It's very cool. Here's our flight today. LEVC. Turn this back here, guys. LEVC, which is Valencia, flying over the Alboran Sea to the island of Mallorca and Palma, with very high winds, very nasty weather. That's Spain. There's Portugal, France, Monaco, Switzerland, Italy. How do you like that? Very cool. All right, but we'll just be using this now. We can turn into this. Tells you what to expect in the flight. Turn that off. Now you know. Let's go ahead and open up FSIPanel. Get that ready. Once you power it up. I'm going to want to start the APU, so once this gets started, here we are, airline flights, and we're going to go to fueling, 3955, start the training. Okay, now you know. Challenging profile. But I think the first thing I want to do here is go over to the EFB, get my options set up. Charts are all set. Services. I'm going to park the brakes and I'll remove the chocks. GPU will start the APU in a second. We're cold, dark. Options. Talked about some of them. Systems. I'm going to use round dial. Radio altimeter, WBS. It's kind of moving around there with the wind, isn't it? Save it. Caution and warning system. Enable. Now I wasn't able to get the 400 foot to, there it goes, align. You just got to move over a little bit to get that one to align. The others, you can click in the middle, but that one you kind of have to click on the left hand side of the box. I reported it, they're fixing it. Okay, and then performance. I'm not going to do the high efficiency flat pylon and deflected airlines. That's all fine. So we've got everything just as we need it. Let's go to the overhead. And because I want to do a couple of things, I want to start the APU, so I'm going to do the fire test. The lights and the handles. Discharge light.
Engine 1, fire.
With the 4 lights.
Engine 2, fire.
You also
Engine 3,
have
fire.
the lights and the fuel cutoff switches.
Engine 1, fire.
Then you press the master warning,
2, fire.
and it goes out. That way you can start the APU. Start from this panel. not up here because it has more features. But if you start it from up here, you'll have to shut it down from up there. Okay, so we're going to do our columns that we talked about on the pre-flight checklist. Cargo fires tested. Let me see something here. This should go into the green band. Gotta put these puppies on. You go to high. Usually put this at 12 o'clock. Upper tank bypass, no lights here. Low tank FADEC, which is like EEC, all the lights are out. Ignition's off. Wipers, we talked about. Emergency dump switch is covered. Handles are all good. Hydraulic pressure test, you can just press it and go away. If you want to watch it on the hydraulic panel, you can from the system display. Right now we got the APUs on. I'm going to do this and put the air on for the people. And with that, I'm going to go.
This is too small for your aircraft.
Request boarding.
Boarding requested.
So the test is running. Now we can go back over the EFB services, and I'll get rid of the GPU external power. Packs load, you would set the number of packs that you have.
There are no passenger stairs.
Regulate the...
You will not see passengers visually.
All right,
Do you want to board crew?
Sure.
Crew bus is coming.
Let them all come on. Now, fuel panel, you want to press this, you can get one and with a bunch of 8s. If you want to watch it down here, we'll go to the fuel panel. I love the detail on this airplane, I really do. So I'm going to press it, you get 1 8s, then all 10 5s. One, a bunch of 8s, then all 10 5s. And if you come in here, $63, 10.5 times 6
Pilots boarding starting.
times 5.
Crew boarding starting.
It's interesting. That should actually be 52.4, minor point.
Your
That's what-
passenger's bus is coming.
All right, and we've got that. We've got no smoking sign is on. Emergency light, if you want to test it, you can. Check the panel, EAD. All the way up, upper right. Engine fire, evac switch is armed. That's how you turn it off, turn it on. Armed, wait a minute. That's armed, I think it was off. That's off. That's armed, okay. Cutoff switch is there. This is AFS panel, auto flight panel, all flight system.
Passengers boarding
Flap
starting.
limits, auto, elevator, auto. Yaw damper, which is for Dutch roll, and the LSAS, which helps with your longitudinal stability augmentation system. If you were in manual, it would look like that. You're going to be in auto. Outflow valve is full open. If you really want to check it, you can go over to air. And there it is, full open. We don't turn on the engine ice for above 10 degrees. We turn on the windshield anti-ice, and we leave the defog light out, which means that it's on. Enunciator test. We'll go bright, dim. We'll go test.
Overspeed.
We'll go all the way around.
Overspeed. Overspeed.
Any lights burnt out,
Overspeed.
call maintenance. Release it. And the lights should all go back out. Cargo door test. You know, I haven't done this yet. It's testing. I have not done this. Cargo door test is in progress. I guess it passed. Very cool. Everything's working. Fuel use reset for the fly. Engine max pointer. Before I did this, I would come over here. I would look at engine. Look for any exceedances. Be a red box. If there were any, I'd call maintenance rather than just reset it unless it was already cleared in the book. Reset it. All the way back up here. Oh, we already chucked the circuit breakers in. This train override, right? If you knew where you were BMC, and you could see that you clearly had an issue, you could go train override, making your way into mountainous terrain. You can see the runway, and things a little bit off, and it's giving you pull up, and things like that when you're looking at the runway. But IMC, you can't override it. BMC, you can. If you want to do the test on the GPS, you can. It's all. I did a video on this.
Slide slope.
If you
There are
Up.
no passenger stairs.
Terrain.
will
Terrain.
want to
not
watch
see
it
passengers
on the
visually.
caution and warning system
Pull
as well as
up.
the
Passengers
GPWS,
bus is
Sync
coming.
rate.
posted on Need to Know.
Pull up.
Aileron deflect
Terrain.
lights out. Ditching
Pull
switch.
up.
Think of this as a Sully
Don't
switch.
sink.
You press it,
Don't
it
sink.
closes all the holes on the outside
Too
of the
low.
airplane,
Terrain.
so you float better.
Too low. Gear.
Here's a pressurization schedule.
Too low.
Just a
Flaps.
placard.
Too low. Terrain.
250's in
slope.
here. So how does it know
Too
what
low.
to do?
Terrain.
You're gonna go
Caution.
V2
Terrain.
until
Caution. Terrain.
3,200 feet.
Terrain.
I'm gonna go climb
Terrain.
thrust to 1740.
Pull up.
V2.
Pull
it's,
up.
and it's 154 until 3,000 above the ground. Knows that, and then it should be accelerating up to 250.
Passengers boarding starting.
I'll probably go into profile at that point, or you can go into level change, 6,000, get that 250. Runway heading here. See, I want to see one more thing here. Let me check the SID while we're on the glacial control panel. SID. Not easy to find this stuff, is it? Orvis. LEVC. And it's the Orvis 2 Hotel. You guys probably see it before me. I'm gonna SID. That always helps, right? Orvis 2 Hotel. And we talked about it. So I'll just use nav when we get airborne. And 6,000, that is our transition. And was that on the SID? Not really. We'll probably, yeah, there it is. Initial climb clearance, 6,000. Okay. What else do we want here? I want to get the altimeter set. It says it's 1000. ATIS is always 2345 on Microsoft on the FSI panel. So I'm going to set in 2345. It'll be at Valencia and at Palma, 2345.
Zero. Runway wet. Braking action good. Acknowledge received Valencia Airport Information Quebec on. This is Valencia Airport Information Quebec. Runway in use 30. Wind 330 degrees at 25 knots. Gusting 28 knots. Visibility 6 kilometers. Rain. Cloud broken 500 feet. Broken 3,000 feet. Temperature 23. Dew point 16. QNH 1000. Transition level flight level 70. Runway wet. Braking action good.
Passengers bus
Acknowledge
is
received Valencia Airport Information Quebec on first contact.
Alright, go back. And clearance delivery is 2358. I'm just getting this off the frequencies from the lesson plan or off the charts. That's what we'll be calling for our initial clearance delivery. 2358. Ground is 121.88.
Passengers boarding starting.
All right, got all that set. Passenger boarding is starting. Let me go back outside. Remember they said they didn't have any stairs. Well, it's going to be hard to board without any stairs. I hope that doesn't end up being a problem. It looks like they're boarding just very stealthily. There he is. They're almost boarding. It's working out really well. Okay, so where were we? Up here, I'm going to go data. And I'm going to go traffic and airports. Those are my 3 favorite that I like to have selected. Weather radar is not modeled right now. Hopefully that'll be modeled here shortly. They're doing a lot of revisions, daily updates, releasing them to CE 1000 almost daily. Looking over the engine instrument, no unwanted flags on the EAD. System display control panel, oil's all good. Everything's good here. Just making sure the trim works, going either way. All right, and now come down. I'll have this guy over here on flight plan. One thing I didn't do is copy the active. Always good to have that, right? We can go TO, pressure's good, aux pump is off, spoiler's down, breakout bar is full aft. If it was forward, I'd have some questions. We've got the parking brakes are set, spoiler handle's down, throttle's idle, thrust reverser's down, start switches are in, fuel control switches are cut off. We've got 15, it's whatever our takeoff flaps are going to be. I'll set it 15. So the first one is slots extend, second click is whatever you want for the takeoff flaps, our case 15. Down here, if you could use this, ACARS, pre-flight, en route, clearances, receive messages, not modeled yet, pre-flight, net data, or the ATIS either, that I know of. Departure clearance, okay, we use that on ACARS, but we can't, if we're using a VATSIM type event, same thing with Oceanic. Very cool, but we're not doing that today. I would like this to become a digital tuning panel for frequencies and squawk, so that you just type in the frequencies here, you go to VHF and you can type it in. It saves us a little bit of time there. So have like an ability to say VHF and type in VHF1 over here, 121.9, click it, so on and so forth. I'd like to see that. That's a pipe dream. Okay, radar's off. We got to come up here and do the takeoff warning.
Flap. Flat. Brakes. Flap.
It's flaps again. 2 and 3 together.
Flap. Flat. Brakes. Flap.
All right, takeoff warning is checked. System display control panel, check the status page. Ignition not armed, we know that. If you want to see what anything there's a fault, click on whatever's lit up. This one's engine, it's the engine ignition. Any faulted ones would have lights on right there. And of course, then we come in and we check our radios are set up. Got to get our squawk. Aileron and rudder trimmer 00. That's the fault. Doors in auto. And we're good. Windows are closed. Ropes are good. Closed. Or ropes are good. And we are all ready to go. You can back down here. I forgot to do my oxygen test, and it's not modeled yet. Source selectors in auto, and the lights are all out. Static air switch is normal. And altimeter is 1000. Let's take a listen. We got the ATIS. It was Quebec, 6,000 meters, winds are 330, 25 gusts to 28, so that's about 16 net cross. Heavy, moderate rain, broken at 500, broken at 3,000, 23 degrees, 16 on the dew point, altimeter 1000. Valencia clearance, fueling 3955. Information Quebec. Request clearance to Palma.
Vueling 9 Zulu November delivery. Hola, cleared to Panama, runway 30. Alvus to hotel departure. Climb 6,000 feet and your squawk is 4122.
Okay, Vueling 9 Zulu November, cleared to Palma, runway 30, Orvis 2 Hotel, climb to 6,000, squawk 4122. They changed the call sign for this guy, so 9 Zulu November.
Fueling 9 Zulu November, readback is correct. When ready for push and start, contact ground 121.880, bye-bye.
Okay, when ready for push and start, ground on 121.880, bye-bye. Viewing 9 Zulu November. All right, easy for me to say. In the FSI panel, when it's fully up, they'll change frequencies automatically for you. 2188, set the next one in there, 18555, wow. 118, I had to retire just because they, too many digits. 118555 is tower. And pushing back, let's take a look at that, what the plan is here. I know we talked about it already. All right, we'll park over here. Let me go outside, take a look. Push back. Gotta get a plan, right? Push back nose to the left, and we'll come out this way. Let's see if there's some better directions. Whiskey 1 on out here. Okay. There we are. Nose to the left for runway 30. Let's go to the checklist, make sure we got everything. FMS MCD is checked. IRS is nav and align. Hydraulic panel is checked. Fuel panel is set and checked. Emergency lights are armed. Fire warnings are tested. EVAC switch is armed. AFS control panel is checked. Cabin pressure panel is checked. Windshield landing and defog is normal and on. Defog light is out. Glacier control panel set and checked. System display control panel checked. EIS and bugs set. Altimeters, mins, traffic and airport. Standby flight instruments to check. Gear handling lights down on 4 green. Auto brake selectors TO. Brake suppressors parked to normal. Flat slap panel up retracted. Brake up bar is reset. Throttles are closed. Reverse levers down. Takeoff warnings checked. Fuel switches are off. VHF radios are set. Weather radar is off. Transponder is set. TARA. Seatbelt sign status page. Seatbelt sign status page. Seatbelt sign and status page. Checked. I'm going to start on the air panel for the start. Okay. Valencia ground. Viewing 9 Zulu November. Like to push back off gate 12.
Vueling the 9 Zulu November, buenos dias. Push and start approved, facing east on Whiskey 2.
Push and start approved, face east Whiskey 2 for viewing 9 Zulu November. Facing east is nose left. Alright, so let's go up to the overhead. Beacons on.
This parking is too small for your aircraft.
Get them started. Last thing we'll do is we'll have to go aux pump on.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
I don't think they really are they? Let's go outside and watch that. It's always fun. Yeah, so the placeholder interior is still here. So I imagine we're going to push back. go out here, get ourselves in this little area out full length. I love this stuff. Pretty cool.
Departure checks completed. Bypass being inserted.
This is written up, guys. Straightens out, no effect. Should be fixed probably today, I would think. A lot of it, I start out these flights, I go over get my coffee in the morning, and I go over all the new GitHub write-ups so that I kind of am sensitive to them when they happen. See that tail moved over, that's due to the high winds. Let's go inside. And get ready. For the start,
Locking gear.
it's very cool. See how the air pressure, it's 33, 35, 31. When you open a particular start valve, 3 to start off, this will drop down around 20 to 26. 25 was a min back in my day. They've modeled that. Very cool. And we said nose left, right?
Release parking brakes, please.
Brakes released right now.
Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at wind.
All right, ignition is on. Clear to start. Start valve. See how the pressure dropped down? You don't see that every day. It's real cool. They've gone to painstaking detail in this thing. Now you want to make sure that you have an oil pressure rise, which you do, before you bring it up at least 15%. Here we go. You have 25 seconds to get a light off. That little symbol there is ignition. You'll look for around 20, around 400, and around 60%. 246. 246, I say ate the oil, because you can see it did the oil gulp of about 4 or 5 quarts to start off. Nobody else models that either. Very cool. And around 12 on the fuel flow when it's all done. So 246 ate the oil and around 1200 the fuel flow. If you didn't see, suppose you saw 35%, one or two things happen. Most commonly, your throttle's out of idle, and secondarily, sometimes you're stuck in flight idle, which comes out with these slats or your engine ice. So you'd have to get maintenance to fix that. 246, that all looks good. Let's do number 1 rather, and we can check the air. Make sure we got enough pressure. Yep, 25. See how it came down? Who's better than these guys? No one. And then you look, before you brought that fuel lever up, you need oil pressure, which we are getting. There's at least 15%. Starting. Same thing, 246, ate the oil. Let's take a look outside, let the FO start this one.
Please set parking brake. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
%, start valve closed. We'll take a look at this one here. So you get around 246. We don't need any engine ice. You can put it on after you start. All right, air. Minimum to 25%. Start valve opening.
Unlocking gear.
Is the oil pressure rise? That means we can bring it up and we hit 15%. Here's at least 15%. Give it some fuel. Just watch the start valve close at 45 this time. Watched everything else, right? Is the oil gulp? See 2, 4, 6, 12, 246, ate the oil. See it? And 1200.
Disconnected. Bypass being removed. Left is clear.
Here comes 45%. Start valve closed. 3 normal starts. Flaps 15. 2 clicks. All right, engines are stable. 2, 4, 6, 8 the oil, and around 1200. That all looks normal. Let's go to config. Hold the nose wheel steering while you check full rudder deflection. There it is. Full elevator deflection. And full aileron deflection. Beautiful. Just in time to see our little fella out here. When she holds the pin up, I'll flash the taxi light. All right, checklist. After start and config, stab trim, bike control, and stab trim, we set it off the takeoff page. 4.4, 4.4, and now we can go to engine status. Nothing. Engine. Nothing on the spoilers. Nothing. Pop the brakes real quick. Hold the brakes. Green box. All looks good. Okay. Valencia ground. Vueling 9 Zulu November. Request taxi.
Heading 9 Zulu November, taxiing point Hotel 1 via Whiskey 2 and November 1.
Vueling 9 Zulu November, taxi Whiskey 2. So November 1, holding point, Hotel 1. Whiskey 2, November 1, Hotel 1. Okay, let's go up there. Clear right. Clear left. Taxi lights are on. Let's go. Brakes are off. Rest of the checklist. Before takeoff, GCP is set in the ice. Stab trim, spoilers and brakes, flaps and slat. Configuration 15, 15, 15. Zero fuel weight, weights, winds, and temperature check. Flight attendants prepare for takeoff. Give them a warning. Chime to go, lights to go. Flight modes, we'll go nav. And we'll arm the auto flight. That's this way. Your nose gear is where the speed tape is. Beta revision 5301 or 5302, 28 May 2024. Feature complete. Just working out bugs. You know, it's like one step forward, two steps forward, one step back. As you change code, as you know, all sorts of issues happen. Really doing a great job.
Heading 9 Zulu November, contact tower 118 decimal 555. Adios.
118.555, adios for Vueling 9 Zulu November. I better stop right here. I think this is the whole shore point. Anytime I stop the airplane, I park the brakes. Old captain told me that, and I became an old captain. Ground tower departures 120.1. $120,100. All right, got everything going. Valencia Tower, fueling 9 Zulu November, is holding short of runway 30. I am having so much trouble.
Winning 9 Zulu November, runway 30, line up and wait. You can take Hotel 1 or Hotel 2 as you wish.
Line up and wait, runway 30, we'll take Hotel 1. Fueling 9 Zulu November, brother. All right, we're cleared to position and hold. I'm going to put on the turn-off lights. Final is clear. Brakes are released. We already did the prepare for takeoff. We'll do the chime and the rest of the lights when we get clear for takeoff. We'll be looking out here for any traffic on the fish finder. And FS Realistic's interesting back there. I'm hearing a bunch of PAs and things. They should all be seated. PAs should actually be complete by now. Right now, departure climbing to 6,000. Transition altitude is 6. So our first flight level is 70.
Winning 9 Zulu November, wind 330, it's 24 knots, gusting 28. Runway 30, you're cleared for takeoff.
We have takeoff 30, fueling 9 Zulu November. Clear for takeoff. Alright, their chime, lights are all on. Runway heading checks. Power's coming in. Radar's on. I would have told the flight attendants that definitely would want them to remain seated for this takeoff with the weather in the area. Got a big right cross too, so kind of a little bit of right aileron into the wind. Forward nose pressure. Thrust is set. 80 knots. Takeoff clamp. Connection's lost. Always fun, huh? V1 and rotate. Keep that aileron in there. Tracking. Positive rate. Gear up. Burn nav. Auto flight's on, guys. You can watch this thing do its magic. Successfully connected. Thank you. See the power come back at 1,500 feet. It went to climb thrust.
Winning 9 Zulu November, contact departure 120.1. Adios.
120.1, adios. Fueling 9 Zulu November. I cannot stand that call sign. Fueling 9 Zulu November is out of 3,000 for 6,000.
Weighing 9 Zulu November, departure Bonavia, identified, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100 for fueling 9 Zulu November. Alright, I'm gonna go profile. There we go, it's coming up out of 6,000. Flaps up. Slats for track. Here's our turn. Spoilers down. Brakes are off. No unwanted numbers. All right, we're cleaned up. We can go to standard on the altimeter. 1013 out of 6,000.
Avoiding 90 November, climb flight level 120 and contact Valencia 124.75. Adios.
Climb to flight level 120, Valencia 124.75. Adios for Bueling 9 Zulu November 124.75. Yeah, the real FSIPanel, when this thing hits the release, these frequencies will change automatically for you. It's like having an FO 124.75. The airplane appears to be slowing down. Yeah, it's going back up again. And Valencia 9 Zulu Novembers out of 9.5 for flight level 120. All right, 124.75. I get the wrong freak. Oh, I didn't push it over. Let's see. Bueling 9 Zulu November is out of 10 for flight level 120.
Vueling 9 Zulu November, Valencia identified. Climb flight level 200 and proceed direct Orvus.
Direct to Orvis, flight level 200, Bueling 9 Zulu November. 200 set. I'm going to go profile. Direct Orvis. Direct Orvis. Looks good. Here we go. Alright, there we are. Climb speed. Get the lights out. I would keep everyone seated because of the weather. Alright, let's check the checklist. F takeoff. Spoilers, gear, auto brake selector, flaps, EAD is all checked. 10,000 feet stereo cockpit, landing lights, barrow knob, and dial and flap. Good standard. Sterilized. Lights are out. Alright, after takeoff climb checks complete. We want to redo Orvis, go more of a direct. Here we go. Alright, let's go to the frequencies. Next one. Palma is 21.3. I got all these off the lesson plan. Practice little high crosswind landing. 21.3. ATIS.
Runway in use 06 left and 06 right. Expect ILS Yankee 06 left wind 330 degrees at 25 knots, gusting 30 knots. Visibility 6 kilometers. Rain. Cloud. This is Palma de Mallorca Airport information Romeo. Runway in use 06 left and 06 right. Expect ILS Yankee 06 left wind 330 degrees at 25 knots, gusting 30 knots. Visibility 6 kilometers. Rain. Cloud broken 500 feet. Broken 3,000 feet.
Vueling 9 Zulu November, climb flight level 220 and over to Palma now on the frequency 121.3. Adios.
Bueling 9 Zulu November, climb to flight level 220, Palma 21.3, adios. 21.3.
This is Palma de Mallorca Airport information Romeo. Runway.
And Palma, Bueling 9 Zulu November is out of flight level 190 for 220.
Vueling 9 Zulu November, Palma Control, buenos dias. Port Godox, Alpha Delta X-Ray, runway 06 left in Palma.
Okay, Godox, Alpha Delta X-ray runway 06 in Palma for fueling 9 Zulu November. I can't stand that call sign. I'm sorry. All right, out of 20 for 22. Trek Vorvix looks good. Godox, there's a descent's coming up in around 7 minutes, so let's brief the approach. All right, this will be the, let's see, ILS Yankee 6 left. Let's get it set up. Category C, 374 and 359. Is 22.
Stabilize their motion.
Hardest part of the flight is scrolling. Jeepers creepers. All right, 374. Oh my goodness. It gets to the matter of it's good enough, right? Woo! Get away from there, Captain. All right, so this is going to be the ILS Yankee off of ADX transition. ILS Yankee 6 left. Palma de Mallorca, 11-1, Alpha, 14, April 24, 10-9, 057. That'll come in the box 25 miles out. It'll automatically be tuned. Naturally, you can do it if you really wanted to. Which sometimes I think I would, but let's see. PLM, yeah, you know what? We'll let it do it in a second. We'll let it auto-tune it. I haven't had a problem with it. FAF crossing altitude. Let me get this set it up a little better, guys. It's 1,700 feet, going down to 374 and 359 on the barrow. 374 on the barrow. Radial altimeter 59. Missed approach. If I'm on runway heading to the CST VOR NDB, continue climb at 060 from the 2700 then as directed. So basically straight ahead, 2700 then as directed. We decide we got to go to Barcelona. That's way up here. We'll get radar vectors on over there. It's LEVL, where the winds are a little more aligned. Let's check the weather. Well, that's not going to give us, that's just the actual weather. Remember, we've got the weather set for our FSIPanel. And I just did in that. And the weather was information Romeo, Palma, ILS Yankee 6 left. It's 5,000 Leviz. 330 at 25 gusts to 30 for runway 06. So it's 90 degrees off, 30 knot crosswind. On a wet runway, if it's raining, it's broken at 600, broken at 35. The crosswind limit is actually 20 on a wet runway. 73 degrees, which is 23 Celsius, 1000. Make a PA to the people. Tell them what's going on. Tell the flight attendants to get the cabin ready early. Anytime it's windy like that, it's going to be bumpy. Turn the seatbelt sign off for a little while. Let them run around back there. After landing. Pretty short runway. I lied. So runway 06 left, plenty of runway. Where do they have us parking? see if I have my notes from when I flew the other airplane in here. I don't really say. I can't remember where it is, but let me see. Gates, parking stands. I can't remember. We'll have to stop and get permission or figure out where we're going to go when we get in here. All right. Plenty of runway, though. Let's go low on the auto brakes. Man. Doing 8 miles a minute. Really 7 miles a minute. And we've got about, what, 28 miles, about 4 minutes till top of descent. Short little flight. Should be fun. I haven't done many high crosswind landings in this thing. Real airplane, it was fine. I just do these videos, guys, just on behalf of TFDi. For those of you who, you know, like to see it visually, show you some of the resources we have available.
Wedding 9 Zulu November, when ready, descend to flight level 140.
Altitude.
When ready, descend to flight level 140 for fueling 9 Zulu November. 140 set. We'll let it stay in profile, guys. This is profile of 14. We're at 22. We'll just let it do the profile descent for now. On here, what you really would want to do is go Prague, distance to destination, 90 miles or so. 3 times your altitude to lose to 66. So we know we're well within the 3-degree glide path at the moment. If you go fix, if you want to direct to the airport, LEPA, which I would recommend, LEP, because that says the route flies. You can see it says 80 miles. So where along the route of flight, it's 87. In reality, we're 80 miles from the field. So best to stay on a 3-to-1 using that. Should be starting down here shortly. Decrease it. Here it comes. All right. As I mentioned, it's going to be a little bumpy in the descent. I'll turn on the seatbelt sign. Brief the approach. Cruise check, FMA, all pink, we know all that. Descent, FMSMD, landing data. Oh, landing data. Hey, that's good. We'll let the thing descend here in a second. Landing data, perf. I'll show you a little trick here. LEPA. I better not, at 6 left, get weather information. Comes the descent. Landing weight's 389 for this, and there it goes. Starting to descent, so we're good. 389. You got to put in 389 with all zeros. Auto brake slow, reverses all, flaps 35. Calculate 4,200 feet. I put in 38.9.0. It's going to like 100 feet. So that's our landing distance. Plenty of runway. Pretty cool, huh? Ah. Locked up.
Wedding 9 Zulu November, compact approach, 119er, decimal 155, adios.
119er, 155, revealing 9 Zulu November. 119er. Hardest part of the flight, right? Jeepers crowd, can you make it any further off here? I can't stand it. Oh my God.
Overspeed. Overspeed.
And viewing 9 Zulu November is passing 160 for 140.
Vueling 9 Zulu November Palma approach. Hello, fly direct Alpha Delta X-ray NDB and expect ATIS Yankee runway 06 left.
Direct to Alpha Delta X-ray NDB, we'll expect the ATIS Yankee 06 left, viewing 9 Zulu November. Alright, here we go. And I'm going to go flight level
Vueling 9 Zulu November, descend flight level 80.
Flight level 80, viewing 90 November. Alright guys, I'm going to start slowing it down on the descent, go to level change. And I'll bring it all the way back to 250. There we go. All right, we're nabbing it direct and descending down to 8. Direct to ADX. I'm coming out of profile, we don't need it anymore. What is the transition altitude on here? Transition level is by ATC, but he did say 8,000 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and set 1000 in here. All right, descending at 250, we're in level change, direct to ADX. Check once again, we are fixed. 39 miles from the field, out of 10, 3-to-1 glide path, looks pretty good. Flight attendants prepared for landing. We'll chime them out of 10. We should have already had them seated because of the high winds. Likely to be turbulent down there.
Wedding 9 Zulu November, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1000, speed 230 knots or less.
Wheeling 9 Zulu November, descend to 5,000, 1000, speed 230 or less. All right, first things first, 5,000. All right, 5,000 is set. Speed. $230. Looking good, looking good. All right, we're in level change. Speed 230, slowing down nicely. Flight attendant cabin is secured. Descent, transition's done, 10,000 lights are on, stereo cockpit's done for our landing, all looks good. We've got the brakes set. Min, spoilers, we can arm the spoilers now. Bring this up, now alarm them. We're good. And what's our distance? 30 miles, we're out of 8,000 feet. 3-to-1 glide path would be 24, so it gives a little room to go down and slow down in case they clear strike. So we're good. I'm going to give it a little bit of slats here, just because it seems to be having trouble doing 230 here. For whatever reason. All right, so talking about the landing, we're landing on 06. We have left cross, 30 knots, dry runway, so with 32 knot limit, so we're good to land, but it's going to be left aileron, right rudder, probably take it out into flare, take out the crab, keep the flight controls, keep those ailerons into the wind, don't take them out at touchdown. Lower the nose to the runway. Don't go for a grease
Waiting
job.
9 Zulu November, reduce speed 210 knots and expect vectors shortly.
Slow to 210, we'll expect the vectors for revealing 9 Zulu November. All right, slowing down to 210. And we'll expect the vectors. Does not want to slow down, does it, guys? Why don't we give it a little slat action here? Flaps 15, we're below 255, we can go flaps 15. See if that helps it slow a little better. That was interesting. The throttles were up, even though they have autopilot's on, auto throttles on. The idle RPM was up at 70, so that'll help. That's what was going on.
Waiting 9 Zulu November, turn right heading 140 and descend 3,000 feet.
Right to 140, descend to 3,000, fueling 9 Zulu November. One 3,000. Now what we want is this point to be active up here, so I'm going to do a direct, leave it in heading, of course, and that will make sure that our missed approach is set up because it keeps that active waypoint ahead of us. Should by now have the frequency tuned. There it is, auto tune. $2,700 will go in the missed approach window when the time comes. It's going to be interesting with the FS Realistic to see how violent it is with these heavy crosswinds. See the winds are moving around pretty heavily here. Expect to turn to dogleg here shortly. Here comes our level off.
Wedding 9 Zulu November, turn left heading 090 and you are cleared. ILS Yankee on way 06 left.
Left 090, clear the ILS Yankee 06 left, revealing 9 Zulu November. 090 heading. And we are cleared. I'm going to start slowing it down a little. He turned his on a little late, didn't he? Really late. It's all right. Coming over nicely. All right, here comes 1700, gear down.
25.
Flaps 28. Flaps 35. Speed below 190, flaps 35.
Wedding 90 November, contact tower, frequency 118.305. Adios.
118.305, fueling 90 November. He's going to be the death of me. Tower, fueling 9 Zulu November, is on final for 6 left, Yankee.
Wedding 9 Zulu November Tower, hello, wind 330, 25 knots, gusting 30 knots, runway 06 left, you are clear to end.
Clear to land 06 left, fueling 9 Zulu November. All right, we're on the glide slope now, so I can set in 2700. Here comes the course finally. Low capture, glide slope capture. I'm going to set the misapproach heading. Runway to sight.
Stabilizer motion.
Expecting kind of a big crab on final here, that big left cross. Go outside, take a look at it. Look at that. And we could set the misapproach speed in here too, but we won't. All right, autopilot's coming off.
Autopilot.
Tendency is to look outside and take the crab out, because you have such a crab in on the runway here. And look through the flight director bars of 4 degrees nose high, flaps 35 for the slow.
Minimum. 400.
Keep the crab in there.
Minimum. Minimum.
Keep it in.
300.
Sink rate. Sink rate. Sink rate.
100.
Sink rate.
50.
All right,
Sink
right,
rate.
right rudder, left aileron.
20. 10.
Slide slow.
Lower the nose, keep that aileron in there. Left aileron, right rudder.
Whoa, that was rough. I'm glad we are down.
Yeah. And
Wedding 9 Zulu November, vacate right, turn right on taxiway November, and contact ground 121-9005. Adios.
Right here, right on November, ground 21905, Building 9 Zulu November. All right, let's clear it off. 121905. Just stop here, guys. Oh my goodness. Painful. Thank God that's over. Here we go. In ground, viewing 9 Zulu November is turning right on November.
Vueling 9 Zulu November, buenos dias. Taxi gate 22 via November and Echo.
Okay, November Echo 22 for viewing 9 Zulu November. All right, guys, let's stop here, figure out where we're going. This is November right here. Brakes are parked. Spoilers are up. Lights. Turn them off. Intensity. Stop the APU. Flaps up, gears up. Stab trim. Get the 3. Go to open this. Taxi. Taxi. Echo. So it's really a left on Echo up here, gate 22. So we want to go left here, right on Echo. Left here, right on Echo, gate 22. And the gates are...
Hi guys, JP, well done. You're in Palma de Mallorca, so you were able to land with that crosswind. Very nicely done. So if you try again the scenario and you decide to go around, then you will have the option to try again. So you will get some vectors to try another approach. So if you are not satisfied on short funnel, just go around and pick up the option to do another vectors for the ILS 06 left, or you will get as well the option to divert to Barcelona, where you will have an ILS approach with a runway, with the runway 02, which is more in the wind axis. So this is now the options that you have should you go around. Thank you for flying the scenario. Any comments, please feel free to drop it in the Discord channel or in the forum. Thank you guys, stay safe, and see you soon for another scenario.
All right, guys, that's JP. Hardest part is finding the gate, right? We'll just go right on Echo, as directed, and we'll find gate 22 over there somehow. All right, this is Echo. After landing checks complete, clear of the runway. I don't know where gate 22 is here. We'll just go park over here. This is 23 Alpha. Yeah, we'll just park up here. That DC-3 was on gate 22. Looks like we could probably get in there, huh? park at 16. Yeah, we'll see if we fit in there. Pay no attention to the cards here. Alright, that's good enough. Brakes are parked. Seatbelt sign is off. APU power is available. Chop them. Beacons off. Nav's on.
This parking is too small for your aircraft. The boarding requested.
Get some air on here. And I'm going to go back to the overhead. I'm going to turn off chilled anti-ice, IRUs, cargo temps, ignition, taxi lights.
Passengers, the boarding starting.
Yep, and now we'll come to checklist. Clear the runway landing lights, high intensity lights are off, flap slats, spoiler handers down, stabilizer trim is set 3 degrees nose up, and it is set at 3. Oh wait, it looks good on the exterior. Spoiler handers down, weather radar is off, APU is started, brakes are parked, seatbelt signs off, external powers available, fuel switch off, cargo temps are off, anti-ice off, engine ignition's off, exterior lights are off except for the nav, emergency light switch off, I didn't do that. Emergency light switch off. And then it says cockpit lights down. Want to see something funny? Now you do these FSI panels. Let me get the, you can get your landing grade. So you saw me land, right? Not great. On the center line in the zone, but hey. If you go to FSI panel, landing report. Landing distance very good. Deviation from center line 39 right. They said it's unsafe. Touchdown. Smooth landing. Do not believe what your eyes saw. This tells you right there. It's a smooth landing. Unsafe though, because I was 40 feet right of the center line. All right. Anyway, let's close that out. Deplane. Turn off FSI panel, and I can go to the electronic flight bag. Services, I'll get the GPU connected, wheel chock set, release the parking brakes, go outside, be upside down, be right side up. Welcome to Palma de Mallorca, Spain. Beautiful. Beta version 5302. A lot more changes coming your way. Wait till you see the cabin interior. You're going to love it. Pratt & Whitney's are getting in shape. GE's ready to go. It does a great job on the RNAV approaches. A really great job. Very pleased with it. Anyway, that's it, guys. Don't forget, I'm under the NDA, so keep this in-house. By the time is out. See ya.